we want to look at things called independent events. And we have to be careful because we've already discussed things called mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive events are those things that cannot happen at the same time. Independent events are actually two events that have no bearing on each other. So when I'm talking about independent events, this would be like rolling a die, then flipping a coin. Whatever I get on the die is not going to change the probability when I flip the coin, or vice versa. So in other words, it's not, the probabilities don't change based on what happens on either event. Those are independent events. Dependent events would be things like having a box of marbles and you draw one out and then you draw another one out, but you didn't put the other one back. Similar to our conditional probability. If it's like conditional probability or anything like that, they are no longer independent of each other. When things are independent of each other, such as rolling a die, flipping a coin, if I want the probability of rolling a 4 and flipping a head, what we do is with the and independent events, we're going to take the probability of getting a 4 and we're going to multiply that by the probability of getting a head. Now we have to be very careful. We're multiplying these with an and only when they're independent events, when they are two separate events, okay? If you recall earlier, when we did ands, like this one right here, we looked at only the intersection. We did not do any type of multiplication. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a chart like this, a contingency table, you're never going to multiply unless you pick two separate cars. If you're only selecting one car and you want it to be two items, a make and a type, don't multiply. Never multiply. These are two separate events. You roll something, you flip something, or you pick two different cards, or you pick two different marbles, things like that. So here, rolling a 4 on a normal 6-sided die would be 1/6. Flipping a head would be a 1/2. So the probability of both of those things happening would be a 1/12. When we have independent events like this, we need to make sure that we take the probabilities and multiply them. Now we do have to be careful. Again, they have to be completely independent and have no bearing on each other. If they are not completely independent, then we have to look at some conditions. And we will look at that in the next video.